Do all girls think the same? Welcome back to After Our Happy Hour. We are your chaotic but cathartic co-hosts. I'm Sharon.
I'm Vicky.
I'm Jamila.
And in today's episode, we're doing quote unquote a spectrum topic / episode, and we're taking inspiration, or we're basically taking Jubilee's concept, where they basically do these spectrum episodes. For example, it would be like, do all girls think the same? Or, oh, do all teen moms think the same? Stuff like that, where they'll gather these people and then they'll ask certain questions relevant to that topic. While they're filming in person, they'll like move towards the direction that they're gonna answer in. So it'll be like strongly agree, slightly agree, neutral, and then the same thing but in the disagree section. So we're basically taking their idea to answer, do all girls think the same? And we asked on Instagram for a couple ideas from you guys, and we also came up with some on our own. So you'll get the hang of it, but that's what we're filming today, to see if all women, aka us three, think the same.
The first question is, girls enjoy the talking phase more than the dating phase. What is the talking phase versus the dating phase? Like the chase versus the actual like official?
Yeah.
Not even official, but exclusive.
No, I would say in relationship versus like talking. Like everything before and after.
Because exclusive is the same thing as official.
No, it's not.
Oh my god, I hate that we have those. Like, what the fuck? What does that even mean?
Okay, you can tie in exclusive and relationship, and then talking phase is everything before that.
I'm disagree.
I'm disagree.
I'm neutral.
I mean, I feel like Sharon always kind of said that you like the chase, or the chase is really exciting.
Yes. I'm also neutral because there are different phases, so there's different things that are more exciting in each phase. So it's not negating the other, it's more so that they're different.
I disagree because for me, I like to do things with the person, and I feel like for me to do things with the person, we can't get into more of like a dating exclusive kind of phase and do all these activities. And I feel like the chase it's like fun, but it's always too tiring to. Or I've never really loved the chase like that. I've always kind of just wanted we're interested in each other, like let's just try something. Like I don't like that waiting kind of period. Like that doesn't excite me. It kind of stresses me out of anything.
Oh, I'm exactly like that. I feel like the only thing that people, or at least I would like semi like from the talking phase is like, oh my gosh, your honeymoon phase. Like you're totally obsessed with each other and things like that. But I feel like you should almost have that maintained throughout your relationship. Because if you get anything less of that, it doesn't feel right. So I would prefer being comfortable and like obsessed with each other throughout the whole relationship versus just the talking phase.
The talking phase sometimes is super exciting because it's the first time you're exploring and building emotions of this person. And it's kind of like that first butterflies, first everything. When they touch you a little bit, you're like, you're like, get butterflies. Or if they do this, it's like your first date, first everything together, where I feel like it's exciting because it's super new. And then obviously in the dating phase, it's new and exciting because you get to do different things as an actual established couple.
I think for me, I don't love the talking phase because yeah, you get like maybe butterflies, but the uncertainty of it. Like I'm not sure like exactly how you feel, and then it makes me not as confident, and I don't quote unquote be the best, not like best version, but like maybe like the version that I want myself to be, or maybe I get more shy versus I like the dating phase, or at least the phase where it's a little bit more exclusive and you kind of know that you guys are like just interested in each other. I feel like that's where more I could be like more confident about it and be the type of person I want to be.
I don't know what I'm saying. I disagree too. I think I was thinking like honeymoon phase versus, because like purely talking, that means there's a possibility that you don't enter the dating phase. And in that regard, I don't like the talking phase then because it is uncertain or you don't know if it's going to work out. So yeah, scrap everything I said. I disagree too.
Okay. Next one. It's okay to go through your significant other's phone without asking them. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
I would disagree.
I'm strongly disagree.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm strongly disagree. I think it's the without telling them part that gets me. Like, I think it's okay to go through their phone, but like, you should tell them first.
Like, I feel like what I have done in the past is that we just go through the phone together.
Because I feel like I have stuff to hide on my phone. So I'd be like, oh, you can, but like, just don't look at these things.
Yeah, it's more so the privacy aspect. Like if there's something that you're sus about and you're trying to find it out, like I would just gauge how they treat the conversation. Like be honest with me about blah blah blah, and then if they're being sus, then I don't even think you need to go through their phone. You just know. And more so for me, it's not like you shouldn't go through my phone because I'm doing sus things, but like you shouldn't go through my phone because I don't know, like some pictures or like not like that. Like some pictures or like my conversations with you guys. It's not like we say anything bad or anything. It's just it's exclusive to it's what we talk about. Like why do you need to know what we're talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Wait, quick follow-up. Not really a statement or anything. Have you guys gone through your SO's phone like with their permission?
Yes.
Or have they gone through your phone with your permission?
I don't ask. He just shows me everything. If he wants to show me a message, he'll like open Messenger and blah, blah, blah. I'm
That's
just
so
like, oh,
interesting.
okay. Or like his camera album. He'll be like, do you want to see my squats today? And he'll open his album and I see everything. I'm like, I wouldn't do that, but thank you for trusting me or not caring.
I feel like that's what I would do. Like I would just go through it together with a person.
See, like no, but like you know that TikTok trend of like you should never go through a girl's notes app.
100%.
I feel like my
don't go
notes
through
app
mine.
is don't go through my notes app.
No, that was literally what I was thinking when I was like, well, you can go through everything, but don't go through my notes. But then I lock everything on my notes, so it's fine if you do.
They can definitely go through my notes. I have nothing important on there.
Nah,
Oh,
I'd be putting my
really?
deepest, darkest secrets up in there.
Or even photos. Sometimes I like screenshot some stupid ass shit and like I don't want to explain it. Like I screenshotted someone's soft launch because I thought it was cute. So like, I mean, I guess I could explain, but like, you know, stuff like that. Okay, next question is, next statement is, it's an ick if a guy doesn't pay on the first date.
I disagree.
I disagree too. Actually, I strongly disagree.
I agree.
The reason I disagree is because if after the first day I don't see a second date with this person, I don't owe them anything. So I will always, I'll always offer to pay, and for the most part, guys agree to pay. But if it's a guy that I don't really see a second date with or whatever, I try to be insistent on like paying for it, or at least for my portion, because I just want to feel like I owe them anything. But if they're still like really insistent on like paying for it, then you know I let them do their thing. But so I don't think it's a ick if they don't pay on the first date.
Yeah. I don't even think it's an ick if they don't offer. It's only an ick if they're like, you're paying? Then I'd be like, the fuck? Even if they go like, oh, 50-50, I'd be totally fine with that. I think I stand by the mindset of whoever initiates that date should offer to pay the tab, but then I would always ask to 50-50 because I never really initiate the first date because I'm a little bitch. But like if the man did and we go on that date, I would offer to 50-50. Even if I know there was a second date, I just like the first couple of dates, I don't like making the man pay for everything because I think it's so expensive.
Okay, I might be reading between the lines here, but I agree if whoever's the one initiating the date should at least offer to pay. And it'll be nice if the guy's like, okay, fine, but I got the second one. Or maybe if it's not a good date, then I don't expect anything from you. Like I'll do it myself. So then I feel like I would expect that from the man if he's initiating the first date. And if he does, like I'm fine with offering on the first date regardless. I'll be like, can we do half or like I'll get dessert or something, right? I don't want to owe him either. But I would feel weird if he was the one that was just like, do you want to split the bill?
Has that happened to you guys where the guy was like, do
No.
you want to split? Yeah, like it hasn't happened.
I heard about
either.
it.
I wouldn't be upset in the mindset of like, oh my God, like money, is he being stingy? I'd be like, oh, he doesn't want a second date. Like if he's asking to split, that's what I'd be more
that's what I
concerned
would assume
about.
too.
And then if there was a second date, then I'd be like, oh, sure, I'll continue offering to split the bill. Especially in this economy, like it's so expensive to like go on so many dates and like expect the man to pay for everything. I think that's kind of unfair.
You don't have to go on a first date that requires that.
No, but I think in general, like anywhere that you eat, especially in the Bay, like baseline is you're spending $50. I guess you could take someone to McDonald's, but that's when I would start judging you if our first date is McDonald's. But like I think any restaurant that you go to for a nice setting, like it's $50 regardless. And that's so much money for someone who's like going on multiple first dates, like that's a lot of money.
Unless they're well off. If they're well off, then they could they could definitely
Even then, I think that's when my like I don't want to owe you anything kicks in, because I would try to put myself in their shoes, where I'm just like, I get that I initiated and I get that whatever, but paying $50 for like the chance of this going somewhere every single time is so much money.
Sharon looks like she has an opinion.
It's not about the money. It's not about like, oh, ew, that he's not offering to pay on the first date. He must not have a good job or he's not doing well. It's not about that. I think it's just more about like principles almost of like, if you're prioritizing dating right now in your life, then like you're in a, I don't know. I think maybe it's like, first of all, I don't see myself going on that many dates where it will like break a, like it'll like rip a hole in my wallet. First of all, so that means I'm only going in on limited amounts of dates based off the conversation or my interest or whatever, and that's not that big of a detriment to what I have. So if I'm a man, or if me as myself, if I'm initiating the dates, like I'm totally fine with paying for it. So if someone's like not comfortable or like doesn't initiate, maybe it's almost rude, but like maybe you shouldn't be prioritizing going on that many dates, or that maybe that just means you're going on so many dates that now at this point you don't want to pay for some of them. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's going with the mindset that like the guy must pay for everything, right? Like that's what you're saying is like no matter what, the guy has to pay that first date bill.
Not necessarily. I think it's more of like it's at the end of the day and they just sit there, or like,
oh,
if
I
I'm
see
like,
what you
okay,
mean.
I'll get it, and they're like, okay. I feel like there needs to be some sort of like, no, I could get this
girl.
one, but you can get dessert. Or, oh, that's so nice of you. Maybe it's like the Asian gesture where like people fight for the bill. Like I don't want you to just be like, okay, cool, you'll pay for it.
I don't think I'll ever be like, oh, I got it. Bottom line is I'll always be like 50-50. Anything less than that, I would be an ick. First date, I always 50-50 no matter what. Even if the guy is like damn near insistent on it, I would 50-50 it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I also think if a
Yeah.
girl goes into first date and like just like doesn't say anything about the bill, that's like kind of like meh too. So it goes both ways.
It's all about like initiating, and then I would always 50-50 it.
It's also about your intention. Maybe if you're not in a good position to, I don't know, spend that much money, you could walk into the first date being like, can we do this instead? Or,
That's true. You can just go grab
competition.
coffee together as your first date.
Dude, this is a little bit off topic, but I've heard recently from someone that the best first dates, or they always default to coffee as a first date because it's the least, was it one of you guys that said is the least commitment, versus I feel like my first dates are always dinner. And you're like, but dinner is such a big commitment. Like, that's a few hours kind of thing. I never thought of it like that.
I mean, I think it's also so much easier to do dinner because there's opportunities of silence that you can have. Like you're eating, you're ordering, you can think, versus a coffee is like you sit there and you talk the whole
I would say that's more
40
intimate.
minutes. Yeah. The next statement is I prefer dating a guy who is less active on social media.
You have an answer.
I think I do too.
I think I'm going to disagree.
I'm neutral.
I think I'm slightly agree.
Oh, interesting. I'm literally thinking as like a TikTok Gen Z, or I'm like, you don't understand the weird shit that I say. You must think I'm insane.
Yeah, I think I'm just pretty neutral. I don't really care if you're really active or really inactive. But if you're really active talking to other people, then obviously that's a red flag. I'm just talking about regular, like you just tend to be more active on like TikTok, or you just scroll through reels or posts. I think I'm like good with that. I don't really care if they're like super active or inactive.
Are we defining active as in like they're on the app, or they're actively like posting and like doing things active?
I'm categorizing it as
Both.
together.
Oh.
Straight up, I think someone who's super active on, actually, never mind. Like a normal,
Sharon's about to say something so controversial.
like a normal human being, not an influencer, like a normal man just like being super active on social media, their like postings. I think it's fucking weird. Sorry.
I always depends on the post. I think there is a way of posting often on social media that doesn't come off as tacky.
I'm neutral. I don't care how active or inactive you are.
You telling me if your man was like, oh my god, today I had a bad day, and they post a 10 story and you're like, that's fine. Not a nick.
Let's just say, first of all, I don't think people really do that.
They do.
Or then I don't know people
I
like
have
that.
seen it.
Okay, secondly, my best example is like Like he's pretty active. I would say he's really active on social media. Like he posts a lot. He posts a lot of stories. That's fine by me.
Oh, see, I think that's completely fine.
Yeah.
Maybe it just depends on who it is.
Maybe it's what they post that concerns me. Because if you're posting about your like fun life, I want to see all of it. Like post more. But if you're posting about cars, reposting models, what else? Stocks. Like, bruh, unless you like a stock influencer, I really don't give a shit.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really care unless it's like super out of the ordinary. Like I feel like it's just cars and stuff. I mean, like that's what they like.
Yeah, I think I speak from the perspective that knowing stereotyping these type of people who post like that are people that I don't get along with. Not because every girl wouldn't like that, but personally, like from meeting people who only post about cars, meeting people who like and repost a bunch of like skimpy models that are like hot and stuff, or like posting only about stocks. If I met you face to face and I tried to engage in a conversation with you, more than likely I would be very pissed off at you.
I'm like slightly agree because I appreciate you like living more so of a quiet life. Like you don't feel the need to be posting everything, and maybe you're not super up to date with like all the trends. Like you're minding your business in your own world and like being active out and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
But that's just, I guess, a preference that you like. It's like some people, it's not that they feel the need they need to post on social media. They just enjoy posting on social media.
It really is about what type of content, because your
Yeah.
social media reflects who you are as a person. And I can tell from someone's social media post whether they're trying to please people or they're doing it for themselves. So then I judge them based off of that. That's why I agree. Like, I would like you to have a social media presence, especially if you're a stranger. Like, that's how I gauge who you are as a person. Because if I can't, like, stalk who you are, who you're friends with, that leaves more room for you to kill me, and that's not okay. That does happen, you guys. That's, like, the number one rule.
I'm sure it does. I mean, yeah, it does.
I like the precaution, unless you're, like, a mutual friend. Even then, that's fucking scary.
Next statement. I'm okay if my significant other likes hot celebrities / hot models pictures. And this includes liking pictures, following them, just overall engaging with their posts. Slightly disagree?
I'm slightly agree.
I think I would strongly disagree.
Interesting.
Like I just think it's weird, especially more so like if you're dating someone. And I think it's because I lack the context of like why they follow them and like why they like their stuff. And I'm strictly coming from my perspective of like I only follow people who are a part of my life in somehow. And if they're celebrities, it's because I like them for like who they are or like what they do for me. Like for example, like BTS, right? Like I follow all of them because you know why I like them, right? Versus if you can tell me why you follow each one of those models and what they do for you and why you connect with them, sure. I think it's just more like some people just follow people to follow people. Like a lot of people just do that versus I'm maybe more so selective with like who I follow and what kind of content I want to be consuming. So I think it's just weird, especially if you have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. Like what are they providing for you?
I think I changed my answer. Yeah. Okay. I was thinking like celebrities, Kylie Jenner, like that type of. I didn't even think about Instagram models because like I think that's a problem because I hate saying it because I don't want to like slut shame or anything, but like their whole brand is to be hot. If my boyfriend likes that, like that is weird. I think that is extremely weird if that's all they follow. I'm just like, why are you liking like only bikini pics? Like, why aren't you? There's other stuff. Like, do you know anything about this girl? Like, why are you so obsessed with her?
But I think also celebrities is like, oh, dude, we know for a fact you can never get this person. So we're like, oh, you know, is not like a threat or whatever. But let's just say an Instagram model or someone who is not a celebrity status is kind of like, oh, it feels more closer to us, you know?
And not even that. I feel like a lot of celebrities don't just post like sexy pictures.
Right.
They post
Yeah.
their life, they post like their kids, whatever's going on with their life, versus like there's models who literally only post sexy pictures.
Yeah.
And if that's the
Yeah.
type of content you like I'm not like that. I don't fit in that picture. So if that's what you like, then we're not good for
Yeah.
each other.
Okay, I guess like for example, I follow some male influencers because I think they're like cute and stuff.
That's not their only like their content is like sure they have the face card, but they're making outfit videos or they're making food videos, that's different. If it's just their face and body that they're promoting constantly and you follow them, I think that's kind of weird too. I'm talking people who I've seen follow just like straight up, like you could call them Instagram models or whatever, that purely their content is like their body.
Okay, now we'll go into some of the ones that you guys shared or yes sent back on our Instagram. The first statement from you guys is friendship breakups hurt more than romantic breakups.
I think I'm neutral.
I'm neutral too.
Damn, I strongly agree.
Oh, I think it's because you've never had a like super serious, and you've never had like a traumatizing breakup. That's probably why.
I put neutral because one, I've never experienced a friendship breakup, and two, like breaking up with, quote unquote, breaking up with average, like just friends, I feel like is comparable to maybe breaking up with a previous ex that you knew long term it wasn't going to work out, versus if we were to break up, and then if me and my current boyfriend were to break up, like those would be extreme scales. So like I think everything just boils down to neutrality at that point.
Yeah, in my current state, I can't imagine having a friendship breakup with you guys versus having a friendship breakup with a guy. Like the guy, yeah, I could just move on from it.
Yeah, I was thinking in the point of view like Sharon, like the aftermath. Like if I didn't have this friendship anymore versus like previous relationships, like both I would be not in a good place. So then I would see them both as the same thing.
I'm just thinking of my past breakups. I'm like, yeah, like kind of hurt. Like, and then you move on. You're like, oh, I could like maybe find a guy. But I'm like, dude, friends are so hard to come by. You know, it's not like we just have each other as friends. Like we have other people that we meet as friends. But I can't imagine that being able to get that close to them. Like I can't imagine if we like stop being friends, I could get as close as to someone else. So I feel like that will always hurt me more than breaking up with a guy because I feel like I could. Oh, there's always a next guy. There's always a potential for a next guy. But maybe that's my point of view because I haven't like had a serious relationship in a while. So right now I obviously value our friendship way more than a relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't imagine if you're asking me to be like, oh, if we were to break up right now, us three, versus if you were to break up right now with him, which one would hurt more? I don't think I could answer that.
It's like, who would you save? Us two or him?
Will save me because I don't know how to swim, and you guys both know how to swim.
I like how you immediately thought we were drowning.
Yeah. So the next statement is, I think it's better to work on or heal yourself first before getting into a romantic relationship.
I feel like we all have the same answer.
I don't think we do.
Agree?
Strongly agree.
But I'd say slightly agree.
I would say I'm strongly agree, but the thing that I feel like I'm starting to learn is there's certain things that you can't heal or learn about yourself until you get into a relationship. There's certain things like how to communicate with a partner. You'll never learn that until you get into a relationship. Or like how to adjust your love languages to accommodate for someone else, like compromising. You can't learn everything by yourself.
Yeah, I still strongly agree. I feel like what I learned from you guys is applicable to my relationship.
I guess it depends what you're working on before getting into a relationship. But like, there are things I need to work on, but I'm in a relationship. Maybe in Jam's case, it's like sometimes you don't know how. Like maybe if you're in a bad mood, it's easy to snap at somebody. Like I would arguably say that's something you can need to work on or like will work on. But that doesn't mean you should absolutely fix it before committing to like your next person. You know what I'm saying? Like you could work through that with them too.
Okay, sorry. I think I view that statement like, yeah, there's things that I could work on while through my relationship. Like, I don't have to be like 100% me before I go into it. But I still believe that all the things that I need to work on, I could work on it myself and in a relationship. Like, it's not I need the relationship to work on it.
Right. But the question was, you should work on these things before getting into a relationship, basically.
Like you should have that figured out before you get into a relationship.
I feel like I still strongly agree.
So the next statement is, I am okay with my boyfriend watching porn, just so we don't get flagged, without me, like when I'm not there.
I agree.
I agree.
I strongly agree. Do what you want, boy.
I had a guy once say, which I really admire, was like he would do it, but he sets himself a limit because he knows that once you watch too much, it changes your view on sex. And I'm like, I really respect that. I like it.
Really?
Yeah, it does. I think that's like a study where if someone watches way too much PORN, it like fucks with their head when it comes to actual sex life. It sets a very unhealthy standard because it's not real. Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Yeah. Okay, follow up. Would you guys find it weird if he offer to watch it with you?
No,
No.
I think that's
Okay.
hot.
Yeah, like let's watch it together.
Oh,
Have you done it before?
Yeah, because I'm just like, I'm curious what
Yeah.
you watch. And then they're
Mm-mm.
like, oh,
No.
I'm curious what you watch.
Wait, follow up. Does it bother you what type of content or who they're watching?
I kind of don't want to know.
Okay, if they're watching some weird things, then I think that's like a red
fuzzy
flag.
PORN?
Huh?
Like fuzzies?
Furry?
Oh, I forgot. Furries.
Furries?
Yeah, like if they're watching some weird ass, like super out of this world kind of thing, then I'm like, I'm good. Like, let's just end it here. Like, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking more so who they're watching than what they're watching, because I will argue that I'm not watching PORN for the male gaze. I don't you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Did you guys agree?
You watch and you envision yourself as the girl, not the guy.
Right, and I don't get pleasure looking at some man's fucking
I honestly skip
yeah.
over all of it.
yeah, right? It's more pleasure seeing the girl get pleasured, right? So it's
Mhm.
but does that sound bad for me? Like, am I objectifying the woman? Anyway, so then what if they're watching like some hot ass girl? You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel like that's the purpose of PRN is like you want the hottest girl in that video because that's what attracts men to watch it. So like I don't mind that they're watching that. It'd be weird if they start following them on Instagram and stuff, you know? I'd be like, oh, hold it.
Maybe I'm thinking like guys watch them because they're hot versus I watch it because I'm imagining it being done to me.
Yeah.
So I wonder if maybe they're just envisioning it being done to them rather than like, oh, I'm fucking this hot girl.
That's a good question. You should ask that.
That's
When men watch, actually for the audience too, like as a man watching PRN, are you watching it in the point of view of you doing that to someone and you
Mm-hmm.
experiencing it, or you're like, oh my god, she's so hot and like I want the specific person to do it to me?
Yeah.
I think it's I want this specific person to do it to me.
I don't think so. I think it's the latter, the other one.
That means we're saying that the men are capable of imagining themselves fucking this PORN star, right? Are they that imaginative? I don't know.
In that context, probably.
You know, I feel like guys like more realistic stuff. Where
Really?
for girls, there's maybe like a little bit more like imagination, or
Oh.
at least from the guys that I've talked to.
Yeah, maybe to them it's just all the same.
I think I should pay the same rent as my boyfriend, even though our salaries are different.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree.
Strongly disagree too. Because some people would argue, like, why would you get a space beyond your means?
It's not even about that though. Let's say your budget is 1.5. That means like let's say you get a 3K apartment bedroom between you and your boyfriend. That means it's within your budget, so you can equally do 1.5. But if your boyfriend makes more or less than you, then it should be distributed evenly or distributed based off your salary. No?
What if it's within your budget? Would you split it in half, or would you make the boyfriend pay more?
If he's making more than me, I think we should do it based off how much we're getting paid.
Even though it's within your budget.
Yeah, and if you want to do a yearly recap of like what your bonus was and stuff and adjust that based off inflation and shit, then by all means do that. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, that's tough.
Oh, you don't agree?
Let's say like I make less than my boyfriend and he wants to live in a like nicer place above my budget, then I'd be like, well, we're gonna do our salary and the differences, and then you're gonna pay that extra, obviously. But if it's within my budget, I don't think I would be like, let's do that difference. I'd pay that my budget.
Me too.
What I'm saying is the maximum I can do is 1.5. If you want to go above that, then we'll start calculating the differences and you're
Oh.
making up for it. But if we're like, we met that budget and I still want to do the calculations, then I don't think I would.
Yeah, like basically I would just be like, my budget is 1.5 and I'll pay 1.5 no matter if you make more or less than me. And if we go to an apartment where it's 50-50, okay, great, I'll pay 1.5. But if you want to go to an apartment where it's above my budget, but you're okay with like you paying more for it, then you
Yeah.
could pay that.
Interesting. Well, I guess that's a good way to compromise. Like, this is my cap. If you're trying to live better, you pay the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Next statement. I think astrology matters for compatibility.
Kind of agree.
I'm strongly
Like
disagree.
like slightly agree.
Strongly disagree.
I think I'm strongly disagree.
Oh shit, am I crazy?
I feel like I would need to see all the couples that didn't work out, and there has to be a direct correlation to them, like their horoscopes, like not matching up. Other than that, then I don't think there's a yeah.
Okay, how about Vicky? You define by why you slightly agree.
When they start going into the nitty-gritty stuff, I'm like, there's no way you can get that from astrology. But I think there is a very general perception, and like the very tree-hugging part of me is just like, when you look at people born in certain months matching their characteristics, obviously there's differences based on how you're like grown and stuff, but there's certain things that kind of match up in my head that I'm like, I don't think I would get along with these certain types of people. Not saying that like I'm characterizing their entire thing, but there's some sort of compatibility. Like every Taurus that I've met in my life, I fucking loved. Every Virgo that I've met in my life, I fucking loved. And there's certain Geminis where I'm like, I'm gonna fucking fight you. And there's other Geminis where I'm like, we get along. There's differences, but we get along, you know? Maybe it's my experience and like I kind of get into it sometimes. So then like I think there's a compatibility there, but would I found my whole relationship around that? No. That's why I'm like, I slightly agree. I think there are patterns that I've seen, but I'm not gonna like risk my whole relationship off of it. As much as I don't want to sound like a psychopath, every new endeavor that I've had in relationship world, I check our horoscope just to be curious.
Okay, see, I kind of do believe that of like maybe there was a lack of compatibility based off your astrology. That's why you guys didn't work out, sure. But I'm also positive that there are incompatible couples who make it, right? So like I can't
Yeah.
base that solely off of astrology. That's why I would be kind of like more on the disagree side. But do I believe in astrology and like spirituality regarding planets and shit like that? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I kind of take everything with a grain of salt. But I also like grew up with this. Like astrology was never something that I caught on based off the hype. Like ever since I was a kid, every New Year's, like there's people who read astrology signs in Eastern culture. And my mom would tell me. So like there's a part of me that like spiritually I believe in that because I grew up with that. And like I value that kind of foundation because so much of Eastern culture is based off of the time you were born, things
Yeah.
that like aligned in the sky for you and stuff like that. So I believe in that.
Jam's like, this is foo-foo shit for me.
Literally. It never fails to surprise me how non-spiritual Jam is.
Yeah, same.
I feel like I don't know, spirituality is based on a belief, right?
But it's like science almost.
Yeah. There's so many things in this world
Like-
that are left unexplained.
Like if you can believe that we're on a floating rock with gravity and in outer space, I feel like that's kind of a wild concept where you don't see it, but you feel things. I don't know.
Or some things are just unexplained, like like how people dream or how those dreams work. I'm like, well, that it is what it is. I don't need an explanation for it.
Well, that was a fun little game of where we lie on the spectrum. Well, yeah.
Don't say it like that.
Oh, no. That's a good little game of what girls think and the different perspectives that we have. We'll link the Jubilee video down in the box if anyone is interested in actually seeing how it works instead of how chaotic we did it. Let us know what you think on some of these opinions. That's all for this episode. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.